Hello, and welcome to the Hands Up If You're Human podcast, an ongoing series of conversations dedicated to exploring and celebrating the messy reality of being human. The truth is, there is nothing any of us can think, say, do, or experience that isn't 100% human. So it's time to drop the shame and the guilt, accept everything that we are, and start working to create the lives we really want. Welcome back. This is the final show of season two, the final show of the year as we run in towards the last couple of weeks before Christmas. It's been pretty full on December for me already. Far too much drinking, and there's still 2 more weeks to go and several social functions to attend. That said, I did just quickly. I'm hoping this isn't going to be a very long episode. But I did want to just offer some reflections on this year. Anyone who follows me on LinkedIn and Instagram may well have seen some of this stuff. And I'm not going to share specifics of my year. I think the key thing for this podcast, the very reason I started it in the first place, was having recognized the fact that there is so much that unites us that we share that. Oh, I don't know whether you can hear that. It sounds like my cat is going to be unwell. Bear with me. I'm going to have to check. And we're back in the room. That was my cat, and because I was trying to stop her being unwell outside the room, she decided to come in to Blueprint Coach HQ, and now somewhat unpleasant smell. Anyway, before I was interrupted, the point of this podcast is to highlight the things that we share that are the same amongst us, and I think those things far outnumber the things that are different. And so, really, the reflection on this year is just general strokes, broad strokes, because I think they're true for everybody. This year I had some really positive ups, and I had some, almost corresponding lows. I had periods where I was working really agilely and in flow towards a new blueprint, and I had times when my old blueprint snapped back. I had new people and new things enter my life. I had existing people and existing things leave my life. And it's these constant challenges, these constant polarities. I had difficult conversations that needed to be had. I had joyful, wonderful conversations that were had. I had, I made decisions that impacted other people, and other people made decisions that impacted me. There were times when I was deeply connected to myself, and there were times when I wouldn't have been able to find myself in the mirror. There were times when I was the kindest I have ever been to myself, and there were times when I was horrendously horrible to myself. The reality of it is that's the pattern of life, I think. And what I'm realizing the more I do the work, if anybody listened to the episode 2 weeks ago with my wife, the more I do that kind of stuff, the more I realize it's okay. All of it is okay. All of it is what comes together to create our lives. And if we focus too much on trying to eliminate the things that don't feel great, then we're not living a complete life. And so some of that awareness has come together this last weekend. We had neighbour drinks round at a neighbour's, and we'd intended to stay a relatively short amount of time, but we were meeting some wonderful new people. We were meeting some people we've known since we moved to Hazelmere, and one thing led to another, and we got tucked in. So the day after yesterday, we were not feeling very special. And when that happens, all the negativity finds it much easier, much more simple. Our barriers, our resistance are far lower And so we start to think more negatively. Well, I'm aware of all of that stuff. I know that is what is going to happen and that it will pass. And if I act on the thoughts that occur to me when I'm in a hungover state, I'm going to have to undo a whole load of stuff at some point. So yesterday was a real kind of moment that these waves of negativity would come over me because I was hungover, talk to myself in a certain way, doubt myself in a certain way. But I've I've done enough to know it's not true, to know that it will pass, and to know that it is an inevitable outcome of the actions I took the previous day. And that gave me some kind of peace. It was still unpleasant, but it gave me some kind of peace. And I think that's what this year has been. It has been a period of time where I've absorbed a whole load of lessons. Um, and I think we need those sometimes. We live in a society that is constantly driving us to hustle, hustle, hustle. But if we are constantly on the go, we never have an opportunity to pause and reflect, to look back and go, okay, well, what did I do? What were the decisions I made based on the choices I had that resulted in the life I lived this last 12 months? What do I want more of? What do I want to work to eliminate or reduce? What is it I'm really trying to create? And how much can I take just from the whole spectrum of being a human? Which kind of brings us to the approach to 2025. I'm not a New Year's resolution setter anymore. Uh, I was for a number of years, and the New Year's resolution was typically the same every year. It was, oh, I want to get a six pack. And I never did. Beyond the fact we all have a six pack, it's just how well hidden is it? Um, and I never did. And it took me a very long time to realize that the reason I never got it is because I didn't really want it. I had associated having that six pack with some kind of external validation. But I didn't really want the thing I was trying to achieve and the thing that was going to take all the effort and the diet and the exercise and all that kind of stuff. I was looking for some kind of validation. And had I got it, had I achieved the six pack, I very quickly would have realized that that wasn't really what I was looking for, because that kind of external validation is always empty. So you may well be a New Year's resolution setter. If you are, brilliant. My one ask of you would be take some time to really interrogate what it is you think you want to create. Really try to go multiple layers deep to figure out, well, why do I want that? You know, for me in the six pack, it was why do I want that? Oh, I want to look good on the beach. Okay, why do I want that? Well, because then people will think I look good. I look back and I just think, oh my God, you poor deluded fool. But I hadn't worked on my awareness or started connecting with who I am back then. So that will be my ask. Just take some time to, okay, what's really going on underneath the surface level New Year's resolution or thing you think you want to create. Because without that deeper connection, it's staggeringly difficult to maintain forward momentum towards anything that we want anyway. But if we're not deeply connected with that goal, with that ambition, it becomes exponentially harder. So I also wrote a little poem. Every now and then an idea for a poem comes to me, and one has come for the year ahead. So I will read you this and then wish you a wonderful festive season. But here it is. And so to 2025, how best to prepare. I could drop my head into my navel to stare, ignore all the lessons I've been offered this year, be blown by the winds of others and fear, in which case I'm destined to repeat what has been, to remain what I'm not, to exist, not truly be seen. The choices always reside solely with me. Listen to others or tune in to the plea of my soul as it fights to break free from its cage that protected it once but now fills me with rage. To listen to the whisper of who I truly am and embody the lion instead of the lamb. The truth is, we've only one go at this life, as full as it is of wonder and strife. So this coming year, be courageous and bold. Step into yourself and let go of the old version of you that no longer serves, and stay strong at the inevitable jangling of nerves. Through the discomfort, I promise opportunity lies rife. Remember, you deserve a fucking glorious life. So I wish you a wonderful festive season, Christmas period, holiday, non-celebrated time of the year, however it is you are going to spend the next 2 weeks, the end of 2024, the second half of December, into a new calendar year next year. I wish you peace and joy. I wish you love, laughter. I wish you the full gamut of human emotion. And I wish that you accept it as that, learn from it, and then move forward. Last episode of this year, last episode of this season. I'm looking to change things up next year. My voice alone is really boring me. I can only imagine how it's boring you. So we will be looking to invite some more guests on. But anyway, that all that will come next year and be a little bit more clearer next year. So until then, I send you peace and joy. I wish you a wonderful Christmas, a fantastic New Year, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care.